What's up guys, in this video I want to go over crafting materials and farming in The Division 2. It can be a little overwhelming with all the things that we have in the game to build, recalibrate, tweak, and all that sort of stuff, as well as the amount of crafting materials that we have. So let's start with the basics. Your regular old white materials are receiver components and protective material. These come from deconstructing weapons and armor respectively. So if you're low on these, go farm some gear and just dismantle it instead of selling them. Honestly, these are not too big of an issue, and you'll find yourself completely maxed out on them if you play the game anytime at all and you're not hoarding gear. Even if you're a 10-hour-a-week player, unless you're just crafting a stupid amount, you should never really be at a shortage of these. And if you are, odds are that you have some more stuff in your stash that you can get rid of. Standard materials are green. These consist of steel, ceramics, and polycarbonate. These are fairly common drops. Steel is common from deconstructing weapons. However, if you find yourself at a shortage, there are little boxes all over the world that drop stacks of steel. Though these can be pretty inconsistent with what you get out of them, so a good way to hold on to these are to do control points controlled by the True Sons. This faction drops the materials sometimes when they are killed, as well as there being crates for you to loot materials and you get to the control points. We'll get to that a little bit later. Again, this is another component that tends to be easy to get. Ceramics is about the same way as you get that from deconstructing armor. I find that gloves and knee pads tend to drop them the most, but that's probably not accurate and I just notice it more. If you're short on these in a pinch, you can dismantle a bunch of stuff, or you can go out and kill some outcasts. These are the faction that drops those. Polycarbonate is another story. I find it to be a little bit less likely to be acquired through deconstruction, but a peek at the wiki says that is possible. Maybe I'm just unlucky, but you can kill hyenas to get these, or run farming routes. Honestly, this material has been my biggest hangup, even over the blue ones, and I've yet to find a really consistent way to get this. As I've said, these materials drop from these factions. It is worth noting this is the least consistent way to get the material, though completing activities like control points and landmarks tend to reward you with a chunk of material anyways, so that's what I usually do. Moving on to our specialized materials, the blue we've got titanium, electronics, and carbon fiber. These can be a bit harder. They can be found from Outcast, Hyenas, and True Sons in that order. However, the best way to get these, as they can be a bit harder to come by, is doing control points. This is really the way to go when it comes to blue materials. So, just so you know, the duffel bags drop steel and titanium, the black boxes drop electronics and ceramics, and the toolboxes drop carbon fiber and polycarbonate. In doing this, you want to pick up the detection perk 1. You want to donate to a capture control point in order to get this perk to activate, and this essentially makes it much easier to see all of the things around the control point that are going to give you these helpful materials, ensuring that you don't miss any and making your life about 500 times easier. Now, the best way that I've found to do this little farming run is to head down to the East Mall. There are 4 control points in this area. Moving from left to right, you can clear all of them and loot them to get the best results for your materials. I find that I get the most titanium from Sinkhole, electronics from Solar Farm, and carbon fiber from the crash site. It is worth getting these because even when you take them, you can go and do other activities for a while, come back and reactivate them, and then supplies are available again for you to pick up and loot. Give back to the control point officer and make your life easier still. This will net you a lot of both the blue and green materials, and if you consistently make this run and others like it, you'll have a lot of materials for your crafting purposes. So, if you look at the crafting bench, we have high-end materials. These all have to do with brand sets as far as my knowledge goes, and if you want to get these, you're gonna have to deconstruct the gear that has the brand set on them. There's not really a good farming here, it's just RNG. After that, we have exotics. Now, if you're new and you have anything in there that says like a pistol or an SMG or something like that, you need to delve more into those specific exotics because that is entirely outside the scope of this video. However, there is one thing in there called an exotic component. These are acquired by deconstructing an exotic that you already have, so if you're wondering how to get those, that's how. The only superior material is printer filaments. If you're looking to get these guys, you're gonna need to dismantle gear mods. It does not matter what level of gear mod it is. It can be blue, purple, whatever. Now, I'm sure you guys already have a bunch of these mods in your inventory. If you're not using them, you don't like certain skills, whatever, you're hoarding them away. However, if you find yourself low on printer filaments and have dismantled all your mods, head over to a vendor, specifically a White House vendor or whoever that has mods for you to buy. This does give you a few in a pinch. It is not repeatable, you will eventually buy out the vendor's mod supply, but if you're short a few and want to get some crafting done, it's a good little thing to do. These mods are, again, pretty much just RNG, and I haven't found a consistent way to get those to drop, but if you play the game enough, I'm sure you'll find plenty of them. Lastly, there are the gear set materials. Now, all the stuff you see in here that says hardwired has to do with a project that you have, and you'll need to do the missions described therein to acquire those components. If you no longer have this project, then I'm sure you know exactly what I'm talking about. But the hardwired tech is a little different, and you'll need to kill black tusks for that. The best way to do it is to go to the occupied dark zone. I know that a lot of people don't like PvP, but trust me, if you just stay in the landmarks, don't worry about any loot, and kill a bunch of black tusks, this is going to be the best way for you to do it. And that completes our list of crafting materials and how to get them. That's all I have for this video, guys. Let me know in the comments if you have any better ideas, or if you have any questions. Like this video, it really does help me out a lot. Subscribe to the channel for future Division 2 content. That, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.